Hi, everybody. So we are going to be learning about what a digital interactive notebook is. If you're new to my classes, you have not used a digital interactive notebook with me before. And so I want to go ahead and introduce you to some of the different functions and responsibilities that you will have in using digital interactive notebooks. All right, first of all, we are going to be using Google Slides as our basis for all of our interactive notebooks. Your interactive notebooks I create for you and I send out a copy for you. All right, in another video, I will talk about how we're supposed to organize our drives so that we can easily find our interactive notebooks when we need them, because we will be using them for a long chunk of time. It's not just a one-day thing and then turn it in. So you will be able or need to be able to go back and open up your digital interactive notebook from your drive. All right, so like I said, we're going to be using Google Slides, and if you look in the upper right-hand corner here, left-hand corner here, you can see the Slides logo. All right, so that's how you know that we're in Google Slides. You will always have a title page in which you'll need to put your name. And in order to do that, you just want to make sure that you click into the area on the digital interactive notebook and then type in your name. All right. I want to go over a few of the buttons here in the toolbar. Number one, if your toolbar is not showing, you can go ahead and click in this area and it should be able to show it for you. Or perhaps this arrow here is pointing down. If it's pointing down, you don't have all the little file and insert and views. So you can come to this arrow where you see my cursor here in the upper right-hand corner and click on that so that it's pointing up. If it's pointing up, you'll see as soon as it loads here that all of a sudden, I have all of my file, edit, view, insert, format. This is part of the toolbar. I also see the title up here of my interactive notebook. Now, this title area will normally be filled in for you with your first and last name, followed by a dash, and then the name of the DINB, because I've sent that copy to you. If you click on this star, it's going to star it, which has to do with the organization in your drive. So that's up to you. But this folder here that will show up is hugely important because this is the folder that you're going to click on to organize it in your own personal Google Drive. If you come over here, this is the comment button. You're not really going to need to use that unless I post comments on your digital interactive notebook and you want to see them. This is where you can enter presentation mode. Presentation mode will simply just expand the screen so that you don't see any of your tools. You can't make any edits to your interactive notebook. You can only read what's on the slide. This is very helpful when maybe there's some writing on there or an image on there that's really small and you'd like to see it and be able to read it easier or see the image in more detail. Coming into presentation mode, as you see, expands it so that you're easily able to read and see what's on the slide. To exit presentation mode, you're just going to press escape, or you can have the little toolbar and hit exit. But ESC, which is escape on your keyboard, is the easiest way to get out of presentation mode. You don't need to worry about the share settings, and you don't need to worry this little image will be your image over here. Okay, so file here is basically where you're going to find things like how to share this, which again, you're not going to have to worry about. Making a copy of the interactive notebook, which I will sometimes ask you to do, but I will walk you through how to do that if I ask you to. If you download this, you can download it as a PDF, you can download it as a PowerPoint, if that's something that you want to do. You can also make it available offline so that, let's say you don't have internet, but you want to be able to study from your interactive notebooks, you can make this available offline. All right, the insert function up here, you're going to be using quite often because I'm going to ask you to insert images. You're going to want to insert text boxes, videos, shapes, a table, charts, maybe even some word art, but you're definitely going to use this insert option often. Okay, you might even want to insert animations on different text boxes or images, so that animation will light up and not be grayed out if you click on what you want to animate. Okay, let's come on down here to this toolbar here. You'll see that you have some shortcuts here to add a text box, a shortcut to add an image, shortcut to add a shape, and shortcut to add different types of lines like arrows, squiggly lines, and things like that. You can go ahead and change the background of a DINB. However, I recommend that you don't mess around with the background layout or theme or transition buttons because I've set those for you. Let's say, for example, you come over here and you see, okay, Miss Shepherd has a DINB for us and it has 26 slides. And the next time you come to it, it only has 24 slides. That means something happened. You deleted a slide on accident. And that does happen. I do want you guys to be very careful to try to not let that happen. Meaning, if it's going slow, please just take a breath, step back, and let it load. Because if you're forcing it to try and go quicker, sometimes we hit backspace or we hit delete and it deletes something without us even realizing it. If that happens, you can go see the video that I have on accessing version history. So the great thing about Google is nothing is gone forever. You can go back and access your history and reload it so that that slide is no longer gone. But there are some catches to that. So you just want to be very careful because you could lose work that you've done before, after losing that slide, etc. So just be careful to always note how many slides there are in the presentation. Okay, so that way you know, all right, there's 26 slides in here. I should always have 26 slides. In fact, I recommend that maybe even on your first title slide next to your name, you just write the number 26 or 13 or 45, however many slides there might be. Okay, just so that you always know to be mindful of that. All right, so let's take a look at what a typical slide will look like in a DINB. For the most part, you will have directions written for you off to the side, the left-hand side. These text boxes will often be a different color and it will say directions at the top and then give you directions for what you're supposed to be doing on that slide. These will not be visible to you in presentation mode. So you'll have to be out of presentation mode, which is what it looks like here on the screen now, in order for you to actually see the directions on the side. The actual slide, you're going to have up at the top the title. And the title will often reflect what you're supposed to be doing on the slide. In the area of the slide itself, this is where you're going to do your work, such as creating images or maybe a video, maybe a little bit of writing, maybe responding to questions, dragging and dropping different things. There's a lot of different things that we do. But this area here, the slide area, is where your work will be done. So you can think of it as this is your notebook, okay? This is your piece of paper. All right, this area will also sometimes be used for me giving you instruction. Maybe I'll have a video, maybe I'll have a link to a different website where you're gonna have to click and go and do your work. All right, so this area could be used for you doing your work, but it could also be used for me giving you lessons. Sometimes over on the right-hand side, I will include video links to tutorials. If I ask you to do something like create a video, I'm not just going to say create a video, now go do it. No, I need to show you how to create a video. What tools do you need to use? So I will often have a video lesson here of a tutorial that shows you how to use or how to create what I'm asking you to create. All right, so be on the lookout here. Again, these sidebar directions and tutorials are only visible when you're out of presentation mode. All right, so this is basically what a DINB will look like. Be on the lookout for video instructions on the side here. If you have any other questions, of course, please reach out to me during our class time or on Remind or send an email. I know this is new, so we'll be going through this pretty slowly, and I'll make sure that you understand what is expected of you here. You will be turning in your completed DINB once you are done with it in Google Classroom. And there's another video that shows you how to attach a file to turn into Google Classroom. All right, guys, thank you so much.